I had the honour of speaking to Jordan McDonagh. I'm going to have butchered it either way. He's a 26-year-old army veteran who combat stress have helped incredibly in his time since leaving the army. The stories that he tells in this video are absolutely insane. Like, I genuinely don't think I was prepared for some of these stories, and I don't know if it's ever been publicized, some of the stuff that he's spoken about. And if not, this is going to be the first time. Honestly, it's pretty insane. Leave a like on this video for me. Subscribe if you're new. All of Jordan's links are down in the description. He does stream Twitter, Instagram, all the other works as well. So make sure to check him out and thank him for coming on for me. It was an absolute pleasure talking with you, Jordan. I appreciate you, but let's get in with the stories. If you just start with who you are, what Reggie did, what you did in the army, and then go on to the stories after that for me.
Yeah, not a problem. Well, obviously my name's Jordan McDonagh. I served in the 2nd Battalion, the Rifles, after my father. Whenever I was a young lad, my father was quite high up in the army. He was one of the youngest ever sergeants to pick up in the British Army, actually, in the infantry. And at a young age, obviously, growing up in the army was hard. I've spent 95% of my whole entire life behind military wire. So, you know, I'm a squad brat and then become a squaddy myself. It's not the nicest story what happened. Essentially, my dad's best friend is Paul McAleese, which I'm sure a lot of people seeing this will know. His late father is actually the Captain Price, it is, you know, Call of Duty, the character. It's actually named after John McAleese. So his son was best friends with my dad. They both went on the first tour to Afghanistan, up Herrick, and unfortunately, Mac, being the hero that he was, ran across 50 meters of open fire with full kit on, in full heat, and got engaged by the enemy. One of the lads, Jonathan Young, was 18 years old. He wasn't even from our regiment. He was from the Yorkshire Regiment. But he ran across open fire, like I say, to save this lad from a different regiment, you know, because obviously that's what we do. Unfortunately, whenever he picked him up on the way back, he stood in an IED. And that was the end of Mac and Jonathan Young. The reason why it's a bit messed up is because that patrol that day was actually not supposed to go ahead, and it wasn't supposed to be Mac on that patrol. It was supposed to be my dad. But Mac went on the patrol, and Mac died. The sad thing about it is whenever my dad come back from Afghanistan, he wasn't the same anymore, and people noticed a lot of big change in him. And what he actually did was he cheated on my mum with Max, his best friend that died, with his wife, because he was giving her a shoulder to cry on, so to speak. So, I mean, that was fucked. I mean, as I'm sure you can imagine, I'm sorry for my language, but like for me, that was, you know, at such a young age was massive. So me and my dad fell out, obviously. The whole regiment, he is with the woman now today, and I actually got a stepsister with her. So it's mad. I've never even met the sister, obviously, because I don't speak to my dad anymore, but he's still with Max Missus today. And my mum got it's all over the news and stuff like that. You can Google it, it's in Belfast Telegraph. Yeah, it's all over the news. He's called the Desert Rat. Yes. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, bro, I told you this. So, and
that's
then,
a mad
like I say,
story,
the person who that is, Paul McAleese. I guess, if you Google it, John McAleese, I think I've actually got the screenshot on my phone ready to send you over. It's his dad, and he was actually training to be in the SAS at the time.
Right.
But obviously, no one knew about that because obviously you don't know about that. We only found that out after he died, obviously. So that's what happened, and then I just basically become a very recluse young man. I got expelled from school. I was in a boarding school as well, actually, that my dad put me into because they paid 90% of the boarding school fees. So my dad was like, why not get a good education? So I went forward with that, and I was doing really well with football and stuff. I was actually looking at becoming a professional footballer. And then I broke my leg, and that happened. And basically it just all went like that for me and my family. Mum got kicked out of the army camp and was just told to leave. So at the age of like 13, 14, with no money and stuff, I had to start going to work basically and like doing anything I can to try and provide for my family basically. And I realized, you know, I had like a vengeance. I'm not going to lie to you, Charlie, like where I wanted to go and help the army almost. Like I felt like I wanted to go and be the soldier that my dad should have been, not the shitbag that he was, if that makes sense. I wanted to correct my family's name. So I went and joined the army, and I joined the same regiment as my dad, and I joined the same battalion as my dad and Paul McAleese, the 2nd Battalion. And my career in the army wasn't an easy road either. You know, we had a lot of blokes lost, you know, and throughout such a short space in someone's life that's so young, it's detrimental how much that the military and the infantry itself can do to a human being, and just your mental mind state, man. Honestly, like it's so grueling. I know people say like go to Cattrick and 6 months in Cattrick, it's going to be the most grueling exercise of your life. But it's not. It's being in the army as a family member is harder than being in the military itself.
Yeah.
It really is. Like my mum, like shout goes out to her. Like she's the one that deals with it all. Us soldiers, we get to go away and have a laugh with the lads. And yeah, it is grueling, it is hard and that, but it's more for them. To combat stress is the only reason why I would say I'm still alive today, and my mother. So whenever we got basically shafted off the army and told to do one, combat stress are the only people that help my family. They're the only people that reached out to my mum and asked her if she needed anything, because she was nothing anymore. And it's not just combat. There's other charities out there, of course, like SAFA and RBL and whatnot, and they all do help. But combat stress for me, like if there's anything I could say to them is like, literally, you saved my life, man. Like,
it's brilliant. Man.
That's why whenever I seen your post about it, I thought, not only do I love you and your streaming and your gaming, and you as a person, but I thought Andy's doing this for combat stress, bro. Like, it's just props, man. Honestly, like, thank you.
Mate, honestly, that entire speech sent shivers through me. What a fucking story.
Honestly, bro, man, it's mad. So yeah, now I'm ex-army now. Obviously, I'm living in Newcastle upon Tyne. My family's in Belfast.
Yeah.
And whenever I left the army, straight away, so not only did they help my mum, as soon as I left the army, I was like, well, who helped me in combat stress? So I rang them and they put carpets down in my house, bro. Whenever I was on the dole,
yeah,
I was claiming universal credit, mate, because I had PTSD. I couldn't go to work, bro. I was unemployable. I couldn't even get up in the morning. And it's just crazy. Like they come in and put carpets down in my house, help me if I wanted work, if I wanted anything, any sort of emails done, any administration, anything like that. They were just there constantly. And still to this day, I still get emails off them. I still get like phone calls off the workers.
Right, enough.
Like they're insane.
It becomes like an extension of your family, right?
Almost like yeah. Basically, they've almost become like a family member to me. And brilliant. Like I said, I moved into a veterans hostel whenever I left the army, and it was in Newcastle, in a really rough area in Newcastle as well, called Byker. It's called Avondale House as well. They might want to have some sort of do with this as well. If that was all right with you, you might be able to sort that out. But it's basically like a veterans hostel. It's like a launch pad. So what they do is they take you out the army, and then combat stress work in there. SAFA, RBL, they all work with you. So you get each person gets a caseworker, and there's like an office worker, HR person, stuff like that. And they basically do everything for you. Sort out your rent for you, your housing benefit and whatnot. And still to this day, I still do work with them as well, charity events and whatnot, and the odd marathons and stuff like that. Even just like setting up at the local park, setting up the stalls and selling stuff, and then giving the money back to combat stress. So like what you're doing now is just on a different platform. This is the same as what I want to do. Really is basically what you're doing, bro. Like you've made me want to do it as well now. You're insane.
Look, I'm just a normal person just trying to do something cool. Please don't credit me. I hate
it. Person doesn't get up in the morning and want to go out of his way to help people that are vulnerable, Charlie, and you have, and that's
I appreciate memorable. It, thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Really does.
And like I say, you don't need to stop at this, bro, because you've opened up so many avenues now, man. Like
believe me when I say
the army and everyone's going to want to hear it from you soon. Like there's going to be all sorts. You're going to be hearing all sorts of people getting in touch with you.
Believe me when I say this is just the beginning.
As we say, civvies, a lot of civvies are very... It's not that they don't want to talk about it or talk to you about it. It's just a very, very touchy subject. And I can imagine that, like, and especially being a civilian, it's not easy to understand that. So, like, someone like myself has literally spent all his life behind the wire. So for me, I don't know nothing but the army. Yeah. But obviously for people touching on, like, Afghanistan, PTSD, anything, man, it's just...
It's a hard topic to talk about because, like,
because we won't come out there and just come out with it and speak about it ourselves. Exactly. We need to be approached. Let's just leave that one at that.
So, why did you end up leaving the army? If you don't mind me asking.
It was actually due to my missus. Right. It was the old me or the army job.
Oh, okay.
And then after obviously knowing what happened to me and speaking to my mum, was obviously always in her ear, like, it's like, it's not easy and you don't want to be.
Yeah.
So which is a bit mad actually, because as soon as I left the army, she left me. But, it's, engaged for 7 years, bro. Since I was 15, I was with her since I was 15, bro. And then, come out of the army was a little bit, and she left me, bro. So, bit mad.
Oh, it's all right. You've been through the fucking mill, mate.
Bro, that's the half of it, Charlie, mate. That's the half of it, bro.
Oh, brother.
Mate, the other stuff I couldn't even say on the channel, I don't think. It's mad,
We'll save that for another time. I actually kind of want to hear the rest of it.
100%, mate. Yeah, we'll do on a party chat one day in the game or something when you can hard carry the shit out of me. Honestly, bro, it's mental.
so she left you, and like obviously at this point you're in a bit of a state. You know, you're going through the fucking mill from
PTSD
trauma
with the
and,
dogs. You know, it was. Mate,
and that's when you found combat stress, or when combat stress reached out to you. And your mum, right?
It was just when she left. Yeah, my PTSD started getting bad, and that was whenever I had to. You know, it takes like that first step and all that. That was the hardest thing for me, was because I didn't admit there was nothing wrong. I always went through saying that I was fine, which is in my head I genuinely was though. Like I genuinely didn't feel anything was wrong with me.
Well, your normal had changed, right?
Yeah, what was normal anymore was more the problem for me.
Yeah.
Like I literally got so clouded, bro. Like I just became a different person, man. Even my friends and family and stuff like that were even saying to me, we can see a change in you, Jordan. Like, you're not yourself anymore.
What did combat stress do to help you with that? What was it
It's
that
all
it done with you?
personal, tailored, essentially. Like with combat stress, they ask you like what you want help with. So that could be anything, right down to anger management, PTSD counselling, helping you move into a house. Like I said, with me, my carpets, for instance, I moved into a house that didn't have anything in it. They furnished my house, sorted me out. They even right down to bought me a TV. Do you know what I mean? Just to watch TV on. Like that was whenever I had nothing, bro. And that means a lot for somebody coming out the army thinking, oh, I've done all this for the country, and just feeling hard done by, to be honest. Like, why do I have to get... I mean, I don't even have a fucking bad, bro. There's people on the street still, like today. Like, there's people still on the street today. Like, the government don't care. I mean, no one cares, bro, apart from people like combat stress. So for me, it was more... They picked me up from my worst time in my life and basically put me on a platform to still be alive, mate. Like, to still... carry on. It gave me a reason to think, do you know what it is? It's not that bad. It is all the time.
Now, following on, like, you're doing a lot better in yourself after the help of combat stress and stuff. Like, what is it that you actually... What's like your day-to-day consist of now?
At the minute, it's trying to become a content creator, bro. That's my number one thing. I enjoy my gaming so much. I enjoy, like I said, I started up with a group chat. It was called the Boys Warzone Elite. Started with like 15 to 20 lads, all having a bit of laugh and stuff like that. But then I realized, I was actually getting really good at the game, and it's just became, why not do it? I see everyone else doing it. Like you inspire me, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? I watch Z, I watch Doc Disrespect, Stone Mountain. You've scared me right up, bro. I can't wait to go and tell all the lads, man.
That's spot on, mate. Thank you very much. Right, listen, have a cracking evening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you later on.
I'll be watching your stream, brother.
I appreciate it, brother. Big love, man. Ta-ra, mate.